Mama mo fanche mfidie ho adwuma na ye mama mo se mo fidie ne da so da United Television and efida anopei mame enaboafo ya simiwie pa afebu nse kwan ni mu betene na yetimi akyerew enne empuni mpu part 1 no said ye bono afa mame enakuyaski sase ewo matade fefefe o se enne yenye ra October yi mu na ye pink October yi die na ye create awareness no me she pink ni bi enti wanya ABC atata we ya kekansi ani apam fefefa na Kuyaskis ensano pacheba no African word ya enko baby a Kuyaski so no pam fefefe ema o Makati Hill Junction onije University no edi animhwe obefre no 020 836 4729 020 836 4729 ena itino so ye kan for me pa medam wanse mo yesa no mo mitima fim na meda tili heji echi so ase se tili heji echi abotire no amame kama pa emi papa efe na braid be fata we ye braid o aha enti ko tili heji echi obebobi ama owo jowulu obetumi abo Google map tili heji edo beko enye yakwa betumi so afre no 0244 808730 0244 808730 meda wo mo ase ene yenkomo a yebebo no mame emma wo ho abakosem kakra ene sei obia sitine mu no yesi onimdifo bi eka na sem se enye ma ehia yen ye bedie ye behye ene ba bia di eti beto nti tworo no aka ena Maslow nso ahyehya ma ye human needs na de ye basic wo mu no eye de bedie de behye ba bia di eti beto nti ankanka bibre ma se ye bobra yi nyina ye pedan na ye si dan so untimi nye bibia cement eni cement ye di besi dan cement ye di be ya kwan cement ye di besi school cement ye di besi hospital enti cement e kan ye dada brabo ehu enye boa asem ne ye be kan ne na woto na body wie na se ne papa no so enya na ye koye ananse ye baaye ebe ye se enna kakra ni no cement ne de eye se enye monopoly ana omo monopolize no companies na hudu bebre eboa ma won so kodwa so agusem de hin na ne bo ne ye na ya hwehwe se bo no nko na ye ananse we nso ye papa ana wo de o mi de misika beso no wato ti won se besi dan e ha si jiriguru dan na agi agu no factors bebre na beke kansi ani na so se cement ne nso nye papa eno so tumi de ohaw ene amane ba mfie mienu abesinko 2023 Ghana Standards Authority ekototo cement factories be miensam ewo Kumasi ana Asante Mantam ne Nkramantam ha adani anane ma wo mu de fra aye cement no na enye papa na chese wo mu de inferior materials na efra aye e de abreyen na anu ya yi ye ba 2025 minister wo hwe Adekye nsem so me sister Lizzie Techiman South Emirache Northa Techiman North Emirache bedwani Honorable Elizabeth Ofosu Ajare eje se wo ni cement fo yi hyiehie binum kra wo ye se wo tutum match ni mu adanya afedi omo de quarry dust te ma me ko bise mu ne asin a ade ba ko cement mu na ma yete clinker no se ne boa ye din o se exchange rate o se de nti ene no enimdifo ne wa ha ombe ka kire yen ti clinker no ho aye den no se ne boa ye den no nti no ene omo de quarry dust befra quarry dust enya aboase anwease ti ayam ne de afra ti wo hwie cement egu anwea mu a sa wo de anwea na ewa anwea na wo de atwa blocks na wo de asidan na afi eno nso akwakoye nsem bibra anhwe ye bedru da bi no ye ni beba ye ho so no na dan a yesisi nyina enye papa cement production so ye wo ho mra na anu mra chebe fiefo atintim ye LI 2480 ese cement production ho bra ene nso ene cement omo ye maye sala biara yi tie se cement fo ne mra na omo mekam ye ntie fi se ye kan bo asem omo se me enkoho yate ase na mo ye bo no denden so na mo nso ma my quality so a ye nkan sen esese Ghana Standards Authority enso banko moyimu Standards Authority fo aka che ye se omo sire ye ene de yema Ghana fo nso tie producers ne manufacturers na asem ni bi na yenye ne fie nkomo na afei Adekye no wo mo GSA Ghana Standards Authority nso aba na yaka standards asem in general emom ye wo chamber for construction industries wo mo de wo mo so to bi didi dwuma nti wo mo nimu asem ye ne say manufacturers ne nko ameka wa anya de wo beka nkora wa anhwe a eno so be ya asem foforo nti wo mo didi dwuma ne bie no wo mo nso be ba beka wo mo de ama yate emu nsem ti enne ye ka asem a ehiawo ne hiame ye ka ye dada se wonim se mpu de ye mfa no se Monday to Thursday aye politics ne ye de ato Friday de ye ne animdifo ne akrachefo no enkodi nkomo ti anopai ye ne wura kwadwo atha or ye head of services e wo super sem and wura James Safo Ansa and your quality control manager e wo semaf onu so atenase ye benye bi mo be join in via Zoom nipa mienu be join in Ewura Emmanuel Sherry na wo ye executive officer Emma Chamber of Construction ono be join in via Zoom enti omo ba ye ni wo mo nso ebebo enkomo eranom ye mamu achen ye da mo ase
that's it nana
obroni adwuma mu boko Ghana for don see ni ji abrofo ho pa nti daki twen kakra me ba wati obroni super 70 say
na me adom edin but na me ho ebe
so enti ane bo edin no na won so se edin mu de enim se mu nya sika pa
no kre se emra ye be join cement na so na sa na edwin se na sika wo be yere mu ne hu se dwuma no enye better sa sa enye easy ti mu so mo boka e ka de ye moka but de ye hwehwe ne se anke dwuma no be koso ne afa ye nnuano ma mo ofie aba be kan ho no mo nya bi aye because ene ye hwa ye galam se e koso nia no ye dwuma ni ho no mu ntia ene ye nnuano mo na ka kwa ye de mo yi ba ye ade cement dwuma no e koso ne ye fa ye nnuano na ba me sure sta enuma ye koso nia na nka esu betwa.
Okay, question ba ko pe na aba metim na mamenko medofo pa James Safo Ansa ho ka Safo Ansa de na Safo Ansa o papa no ko Pentecost o nti no to James no
o ye metres ni
ene no to Christian sojum akwaba
ya
na sema fotisen
yami abu boko nka ye peni se de minia edi kan
okay
nyuma no edoso
okay
na enuano mrantie ne maba ni ye ma o mu wie school o manya dwuma ne bi aye dwuma bi anso mpuntu ne se de odi to dwaso no amanfo besum na o mu agi na baba na onso de aye dwuma mfaso ba na dwuma no mu etre na o ye no na onso hwese wo ye ni yie Bruni we say you put a quality product on the market, you offer a quality product or quality services on the market, and then the market also accepts the product. Now say base all the quality no to just na ibi no so tenchen the asraka dani achinchina na ama udwumedie no ye say no nti ye hwese kana man beje de eye papa atomo na aboama mpuntu no adoso awomem
nti o de no ye se afrafra bem ti ase nkomo na ye bedi no machase yi mu ho afiri mu twen na mame ko obronyi wo ka se enka ye na adwuma ne ya de ba mitima ne se cement adwuma de muntumi nka se enye adan ade bia ye sidan nti adan na mo de adwuma no nko ye mam
no kre se na odi kan shase no se ne ye siso ye bank akrakra no de pa amene papa no ka chense wonye sika no wensi den asebu amobra nti dan sie de ekwa na se ko badia den wo cement adwuma mu ne se bia wachichiri nipa nan no wasambo ne chiso ondwane no nko ho na problem no se eno akodwum ne nia ye ton cement no obi ton ne de 5 cedis
okay
no obi so ton ne de 10 cedis anka ne papa ma de ton 10 cedis no ne de na ye papa
okay
but enne no de ye hu ne se de ton 5 cedis no wafa a quite be so a funny taxes me to say introduction in one more taxes so but we share the cement composition na a year or more on produce cement no your price and net oko marketer oka cement one market money na it's about 90 cedis on average which is 32.5 out of the 90 cedis no young manufacturers on average no omo de ma a year distributors no around 81 cedis.
Okay.
Taxes na shemu nkwana is over 22 Ghana cedis.
Wow.
And so when you are only compete no or no ntua sa 22 Ghana cedis na obviously na chese no ne price na or the ton market no e wo form esen wo na wo tua wo taxes se ne be ya ye kroma fringwa e kwan no e oda ho no aban no betumi aye menua no we secondary school university no e benya abadwuma aye so be ko hospital ne beta so bed in ho no sa tax no and anke betos ampa no amma patient no bad so but if
then will be produces cement to me dodgy taxes because cement yen yet say wo yes amena akrokro bi wo dem factory kese nti pese me say then ya ban ni beba so wo be hu
wo hwe em say enne October 2 years ago ayenwie bi yenyanum bi factory close here over tax evasion over 700 million Ghana cedis 2 years ago.
Okay.
Which means that it is something that is happening.
Of course, so.
Abayana Tunkache so okay, we are going to make sure that we tackle this head on. And the payment plan was given. And Kaminu said we should be having consistent updates of Sasikaya. What has happened to it?
Okay.
And clearly it tells us that there's a problem. And that is why we call a Jumuno. Obu Honoma, Nidian war form, a bit there was true because a binum a year musupasem and yen we will never go around the corner.
Okay.
Because yes, see a buy
is that why antia quality no above form no?
With the quality, yes, it's part of it. Quality no, and only a mimiano and also they can start it or quality.
Okay, quality control.
Yes.
Eja safo quality control. Ubeche wom say obia sidan but the only man so koto cement mame can it ten so kra no cement company baako yenim cement baako pe na so how I say 32.5 R 45.7 R we dey concrete we dey plastering inti fire co school kakra animu ya obi oti obi okoto cement no be hu say we yese
awe me da sipi me fa ne so man baba.
Okay.
Is a nipa ntefaako ebi a me dan ya me si ye de enam nim de kwan so de minimu nti meto cement papa.
Okay.
Na me dia ene de ese
okay.
Adwuma me yo no na me dia yo na me kwa sori eda no kra bi anyema so de mu na me koye me ko ba bi fufuro obi invite me na me ko
okay.
Me nim de edi si dan no me ba ko school no na matini din so mo yade nti na me ba toto fi wa onye boni bia me de ni ko sa school no me nim de edi si dan no
okay
me tu kwan me twa bridge me nam kwaso se de won so na nti ye kasa se oman mapa de esie no e faye ho se de edi si dan no nya menimu da me kwa so dan mu ko bubo me da no so kwa me ni me yire ene me ma ene kwa so dan mu ko bubo ye nyina so enim eyi mu se we yi adwuma wa na we wasua de we no nsua we e betumi adiminya
okay
betumi adimidem betumi ekumi betumi ahre made ti ye chechiri mu yi se be ya oman ma e beti ase cement nye pada keke binu ma fare so e koto cement na obi asem bi e ba fin bi anansen ba so every paint be paint nti cement bi ya cement there be entisa cement no ye di nuro ena ye nti eno ankasa so ye duro
okay
na ye duro a eni nsuo ka bum na edidwuma so we call it a hydraulic binder
okay
ti nsuo kanwa ena
eche
okay ti nuo na ebo mu no esese ye ade ya nsuo no kana etumechi abode ye nhwehwemu ani nimdie da bia ekwanim
okay
nti se obi ye hwehwemu na enya nnuro ni bi ka ho yes we wo de fra enuma mu ka ho me ye de cement eyi a ye de be for process mu
okay
na ya ye ho standard
okay
na ya je atom
okay
na ye de account ne de adwuma Ghana has standard that you use no Ghana Standards Authority say they can say we no more akasa no one or her standards so you want a developer standards industry players na ya di atom any we standards ye de cement no enyina e kabom e kwadwen kurom e me de cement ho adwuma e de adansi ho adwuma na standards no mu no yawo nuro ye de cement
okay
it is obo ba kudin clinker
enu ni
obiat
enu popular
enu dey popular
yeah
clinker no achiri no yawo other materials
okay
ye de fra clinker no mu de cement eboa ema cement no enya hoden ma ye de adwuma enkofo yo ne bia ema ebi to say limestone ebi to say granulated blast furnace slag
hey
me ne dia hwa me dia kesi
ai mo boye suade
ebi to say silica fume
okay
ebi to say fly ash
okay
ebi to say other natural pozzolans and calcined clay and artificial pozzolans
okay
ni nyina yenum nyina ye nioma obodi besie ye ho research over years
okay
na ya dia tum se we die wo die cement e be ka clinker no ho e boa ma clinker no adwuma no enya hoden na ekire enkofa oyoni bia ema obi ani wonu ma osidan se nansa jame nansa na so pe no ko
nyama oboboss yi ni nyina wo great ahodo na wo cement mo no
become e ba no so
okay
nti sa nyoma yi ne ye de ye cement
okay
na cement na nkasa ye de eye no ye wo mu ahodo p
okay
depending on the quality class
okay
yasise ewi asi nyina your quality class ahodo beye 9
okay
ena yaji atum ID adwuma your 22.5
eno no sa de na ye din ade a
empacho menya abote no akire
ebi se wudi kan kire ye no anti wu kan ne de adwen de eche se din na 22.5 ya clinker no wo na se 22 ana pozzolans no na se 22.5 no
me dasi
okay
quality class ni ye na ho den susudua
okay
ye di susu
okay
na said ye be ya ye nyina ye begina bankuro mu ne susu nti ese se wo ye cement na ye de ye mortar ye wo standard mortar
okay
ye de ya na wo di hye nsuom emedi edaduo no nwotwe
okay
28 days
okay
uyi free nsuo no mu na ko se fidie mu na umiasoa umiasoa na ho odin ye betimi de agina emiasoa no ansa na emu abubu no sa ahoden no ene ye ne ye determine the quality class nti 22.5 umiasoa na ho odin a ebetimi agina
okay
ade ansa na abubu
no
eye 22.5 Newton per millimeter squared.
Na mpese metin.
Na megapascals.
Okay.
And then what you would you another so 32.5.
Okay.
Near 42.5.
Okay.
Near 52.5.
Okay.
When na yen ahwodin this one ebi edidebiachi aye ayonfuchini.
Okay.
Sanse enye kukuramadu ne yede esa hwempo nti yewo cement a yede eye ebia o plaster dan ene yewo cement a so cement yede plaster dan kan papa mu ene yewo de ebia o si abanso kese pa
okay
ebe fa nipa bebre
okay
sese wo ye columns akese ana wo ye bridge ana culvert
okay akese okay
enu na ho odin ehia no so ti ewo cement so odin ese enu na ho odin ede ekoso enu akire no se bia wo koto cement ebo so obi atworo cement no eso se ebia we 32.5 no the NB ase nechi ana odi RB ase nechi
okay
enu dina ho ma se cement no normal hardening okay se odi nsuo ka na enya ahoɔden a to ne bo ase kɔbɔkɔ na enya ahoɔden nti ebeduru bɛyɛ nanu ana nanso ntem no na ahoɔden ebenya no normal
okay
but ebi wɔ R kyerɛ sɛ rapid hardening kyerɛ sɛ enu di nsuo gu mu a enya ahoɔden tem so nti free nanu ekosi nanso so no na cement na ahoɔden anka open na edaduo no nwɔtwe no na enya mu kesipa ebi abɛyɛ emu bɛyɛ aduowɔtwe ɛwɔ ha mu abupen aduowɔtwe
okay
ani akyire
okay
eyi ensonso ne nti nioma miensa na me pese be kabo mu na me dey educate die ye dey cement no se eye nua ye ma ho kwanse dey cement a emfo yo ne ene emma
okay
enu ya throw bag no
okay
ebia Portland because emra ne show sanse emra ne show kete se emfa dia ebekwa ko ha daachi emfa enye cement
okay
nti throw the already declared
okay
on your packaging or bag no
okay
it will be atro Portland limestone cement
okay
and Portland blast furnace slag cement
okay
and Portland fly ash cement
okay
atro
ube hu saade no ho
na science tro e se okiti se tro o cement na ho odin susu ye ba bi eduro
okay
ti no atro ebia 32.5 N
okay
and 42.5 R
okay
and 52.5 R o kire se ni cement no ahoɔden sɛ womani ɛsɛ nsuo mu adaduo no wɔtwe na woyia na wokɔhome so a womia so dendenden ɛwɔ fidie mu a prɛse no a deɛ ahoɔden a ɛbɛtumi agyina ansa na bubu ɛno no
okay
nti sɛ
nti third one yɛ deɛ he because my first one hwɛ nti sɛ me
third one ɛyɛ sɛ wɔtwerɛ sɛ N ana R
okay
ɔpa kyerɛ sɛ eko eye adwuma ntem hare so
okay
ana se eye adwuma ntobuase eso
okay so kojo kanetete no de na minim se sa time no na standards we my bibi na abem ma aba no se ya na fi se de na me kai pa ye se obo nsi atwo Portland cement no enim so maybe you know them about so anything that is so but a change you say it's 22.5 R number 52.5 N o say there no abem two come say oh where the concrete where there say no be na since when na cement so ye nya na nchiche mu sa
and I say we are seeing na innovation so back.
Yeah.
And I think apart from the Portland cement, we've also even moved on to what we call the calcine clay.
Okay.
Which means that you add a clay kakra,
okay.
to make sure that the building would last for the test of time. And see, with innovations na air bano, and nyama esesa. Normally, and I say Susano, they need 32, as you said. But this year, no. Materials need use, the quality form with all sort of things.
True.
Internet say to make sure say yes, so ye day technology to improve the standard.
And Tinyama obobo si materials ni na yenya wo Ghana ha na ye dia ye.
Be wo hon yenya Ghana.
Okay.
And intia na companies we've moved away from not entirely from importing clinker. but we add what we call the calcine clay.
Okay.
Because clay no Ghana has it. In this time, kebe sika every here akako import clinker na. This time around, they say the people baba yen fani nia. Okay. You see, yeah, raw material na Ghana hano. Okay. And they are clinker no to produce the high quality cement. Okay. And why do you need this? So
before I will call why need to know. Just say you to me cement without the clinker no. Okay, but clay no and so ebe shimwa ebe to me I complete aye juma esese nka e bia move for clinker dodoa nka ebe ye. Exactly.
You see, I'm saying the school no, say how you student and can know we are best students because because the reason why you moving away from all this class of cement from the 22 to 32 to 42 to 52. You see, a year 52, just to make sure that at least the Audi cement you will be able to get a value over time.
Okay.
And the reason why we also added the clay to the clinker, we call some other areas, someone said dampness on the wall. When you add this clay to the clinker, what to me at the year of foundation, and China basrono. They name say clay the chinsu.
Yeah.
And it's soon to me and fro and codine. And that is why we have moved away from just the normal clinker limestone to now add what we call the calcine clay.
I need to say yenya wo cement ni dwumadie mu a ombedi adanse ese sa na yenya no e wo Ghana sa na mo yema sa na mo manufacture mai.
Yes, on the 32.5.
Montreal Kakrabi. Maminkura Emmanuel Cherry oye CEO ma Chamber of Construction ewo Ghana. Eja Cherry akwaba. Mr. Cherry.
Yes, me niaba.
Otebenka.
Me pacho be to
Oh, okay, you are here. Great. Oh, Zoom so. Enti mo amutai area construction musi kwan musi what musi kwan musi adan mo ya kwan schools hospitals any ade yenya na ntie se cement ni bi wodwa so a na ho ode ne nte setete de no mo amudidi dwuma no etisen ma mo.
Okay, ma me fa kwenya na me chia e ma dwuma pa odi ede boa Ghana ne puntuo eni ma me chia me nuanu mo a omo studio say omaka assembly efa omujumadi a omudi edibwa construction industry a ni kanko but ansa na metu aso no mami fa che opa etu onim se me twinu enye papa bia nti wo be fa ne sa mami kakra agra enti say question a obisa no man send ye ejumadi a ye di e wo Ghana as a construction industry players no se ye yi cement every man enye yie adentia because ye si adan ye yi kwan ye nyama bebre ewo ye dwumadie no mu enti open year and there are certain materials said that ukabo ansana obetimi aye dwuma ebe edi manese ebe di mu manese ni pa ye dwuma ma nso onu so be manese odi ahwahoka beji oso se ampa akwafo ni dwuma pa waye edi aboa no enti ni sika nso no which means no wanya faso efa sika no enti se na omodi kan no se cement no uyi free man ye na nso be bia do sesi ya no se ha kakra bi abaye manese ye poa no na se ya hwie na ya so anu ntama ebe ha adwen because sesi ya ye ka say construction industry on say uko block manufacturing na uhia cement uko mortar ahobehia for construction uhia cement uko concrete plastering how do you call it block laying and all those particular works no ubehia cement e dia mixi will aggregate and the aggregate no any cement ukambo man ansa na obetimi anya hondia upe edi ayedwuma ebe dimu enti most at times no cement no say ni price no na say edi how kakra edi ebreye for some time ago na ubekoma obehu say ye frɛ say man send conference bi ye ni cement any ministry of trade and industry minister by who man say all your representatives were there na anu na edi man say kasakasa edi ba cement manufacturers and producers any minister for then minister for trade and industry atem. And you will see that we are so much passionate about the cement industry because the year omufrima enye ye. However, no, baby adu se si anu, say hwe kwan so ebetimi afa, na nyina aka bom, na yema peri ye, na nukredi eye juma ewo Ghana construction industry space. Adentina mikasa, se si the prices of cement no, ni bo eye di kakra. Enti se ni bo eye di most at times no, ye artisans for ebimu oma fatiti ye papa mu. Some of the foremen omu person omu kati cost no omu come marketer say na studio man send panelists no omu kan nim dey for omu ti studio kan no your types of cement our market the see no omu introduce you and lower grade asana first na 32 point how do you qualify and 32.5 and our market that was the lowest at then but see no we have another lowest that is for plastering. See out of that, sa lowest omo prices and also wafon kakra, and sana upgrading up to 52 point how do you call it horror view. Ye kasai price who the come marketer. Most at times your workers instead of say ombe kwa koto de fata ejuma enso mu ye say concrete na opese o castia your concrete man send cementer or marketer eso to edi akoye den akani aggregate no de edi ni juma. But how do we see? They go for the lowest and the cheapest in the market, and the cheapest ono so and na juma enu so edi. And at times o akoye juma na wie no you be think say cement now is here no enye cement no nanso se type of cement so fire juma na so fata so fire sa juma no one fa because you were going according to cost. And okay. These are some of the challenges. So therefore,
Mr.
Chamber of Construction yes, sir. Yes, madam.
Oh, don't worry. Enti say Mason, yemfa no sa, said the ya can ofie no. Mason ni no, papa yi si ne dan. Osio ye kwakọ ye concrete ana ye casting. Enka se auto dia ye de concrete. Nanso no kwakọ to de ye plastering wo mu.
Correct. Stop pepe. Enunti ema at times no ube komwa you be thinking say bia gas and cement na mikoto enu enye bia sima cement na mikoto enye ana CBI ana horror view enti ube koma ube hu say debi cement auto enu enye brand no nanso type na so use it for a specific assignment a project specifics no one koto sa we no because of what or the price component nichi. Because
okay.
The lowest one
kakra no so it's good say wow yes you ma Chamber of Construction wa every bisa na bankane a omokoto cables yes wires koto wire na on top of panti edan hyehyehye no ye hu say electrician for no kan mu bo mu ti kuo enti ombeka cho say we ye member oba na obeye wo electrical works ama hwe hu say a certify no enti unim nipa woni ni deal se challenge bi a obetumi akoni ku mpanyimfo se so mo suspend ni certification ko mbe suspend anso mu nso no betumi aye bi ama mesinfo yi ama wo maboa ye nchesa ekina nko obi besi ni dan bewie na chiri kuro adwira guni so
yeah sa pepe we enti na Ghana Chamber of Construction in India no enti no ye amane sende ahihye adwumadie kese bi a ye pese ye de Ghana family nyina. So we'll be going for training workshops across the entire 16 regions early next year in the concrete technology industry. Say betimi atiti manesen at training all the artisans how do you call it the foremen including the engineers and what have you omu money your sites no in the production of all these materials and the usage because yan konsa ebe hardwin. However, some of the cement in the market, the qualities are complete substandard. In the sense that instead of say, using the right usage or dosage of clinker, because of clinker, for some time ago say clinker also market price man say well where's my how do you call it production so no above from Accra because of certain challenges in the international market.
Okay.
And what when you hondi no one here who santimi clinker on time. So because of that, some of the manufacturers, they've decided to cut costs. And in the course of that, Abua, use some of the aggregates I use in the composition of concrete, no more ko yam no fico. Because I say most of the times the colors are almost the same like cement.
Okay.
And no they are mixing the same abona na oma pack man say baggy at the amba market. And at the end of the day, in your intro, Uba say we are using how do you call it quarry dust against how do you call it quarry dust instead of how do you call it cement composition clinker.
No. Meti na ye me wanwa say ebe de no mu de quarry dust aye ni sa. Enti ade a wo sa chamber of construction we munim say koso. Are you able to identify manufacturers who yes sir na mu de mama appropriate authorities ye be cost standards nsem so say we ni production no below standards enti monhwe na monka wanse.
Yeah, that's we had an engagement with the Ghana Standard Authority, and then the Professor Dodu then, who was how do you call it in charge then. So when you complain, no, the attorney name.
And then I said, so much as yes, so much the quarry dust, they done a clinker na ache enye. Ache.
The time I identify such challenges, early 2023, no, wow. Later part of 2022. And then we entered 2023. And that's where the alarming stage, how do you call it, became alarming. So therefore, we need to put pressure. And that is when Ghana Standard Authority, at that material moment, they went and then they closed down 4 of those particular companies. However, order from above, within the shortest possible time, the companies that were closed down were asked to resume work immediately. So that is the challenges we are having as an industry.
Okay, so order from above no be wo, but muso na mo ye adwuma no se wa anya adwuma ni ya ma obi a ya ban de bi a obefa ho akọ, but say a private person and organization oni wo as a construction person ebenya wan kasa so e ban sa china no obi mefa wo adwuma. Enti are you able say mo betumi mukuo ni mu no ache say sa manufacturing we say no ana importer we ne cement na papa mamu nko na ase mo blacklist o mo sort of ama wo mahu se dia wo mo ye no mo mahu.
In fact some kese pan of abe enti say na me kan di kan no ye be condition white. However, in the immediate the low hanging fruit the best we could do now is to engage Ghana Standard Authority once again. Okay. Immediately. Then if you kwanso betimi afa say o mo ntimi endi adwuma na e fata so mo di based upon their mandate there. And they will also come out with a press release. Now, stating the qualified or certified, how do you call it, cementer, market, any the substandard ones, near contractor for any artisans for who say, and this particular product, ukotwa, wow, jejeje, utawea, ubenya ahondia, upe, because cement is a binding material. And the udika aggregates, sana benya ahondia. I will say the unya or jumamu and one to me anya the correct dosage of the mixture now. I'm telling you, Ubeye Juma, you be the best engineer, but at the end of the day, no, who will free site now who say cracks baby S30 now way man say you fresh something like pump cake concrete. Uba hua u castie chile now say na start why say cake. That is some of the challenges that we encountered in the industry. So therefore, immediately we are going to write to Ghana Standard Authority. We need to engage further. And if nothing is being done towards these people, then the best we could do as industry players, we need to protect the gates. So therefore, we'll come out with a press release stating the approved cement standards within the market, and then the substandard ones, we blacklist them accordingly. As a watch,
because muhu say bia yentu yebo. I'm not saying say dan bia be sad, but to be sure see yesi abronsan we wo ha adwiri egu wo hwa etimi bam wo hwa na emu adwo. Unyini say bia na ye contributory factor. Enti se mo keka mo ho ntem a you can save lives.
Yeah, nukure where the one say you started Sajumano somewhere last year, and then we started so quite long ago, but last year was when we intensify it. But lo and behold, there's a new administration in place, and therefore we'll continue from where we are today. So, in fact, the Ukonu is a welcoming call that I must thank you for such an alert, and then you better take it from this particular angle. Now, engage. We'll definitely come back to you with the outcome.
Now, sa inferior ones, me sure said they are all kind of more. First of all, no, to see a Ghana and cement manufacturing companies or saying or more manufacture locally and you more importable. Saying. Me person
in general, as at last year, the Ghana Standard Authority MIA who IATS said there were 14 licensed cement producers, manufacturers, and baggers in the country. That is what we have in our records. But since 2024 December till now, your name say a beer beka ho ana ye beer free man and your name. But so far in our books there are 14 certified, licensed in operation. However, out of the 14, 4 are trying to be the prodigal son.
Oh, then it means that omo yes ano omo no so. In fact, manufacturers and said from baggers and producers, no, meaning I have 14 companies. And out of the 14, you are able to pinpoint what can say I say 4 and no more, yes, sir. So then money more. And the Argentina yet de my and I know so order from above be your
I say Sena Mikano, Ghana Standard Authority, no, is a so how do you call it arbiter or authority in that space. And your muna a mine edit to me a show musanse mudi sajuma no mai. And yenti me and say and found muchi a year dear.
That is true, but also we a stakeholder who cried who sign a whole chamber and no. Sa and nine, have you tried engaging them? Say, look, Ejuman ye. But he said the safo answer can say yen because ye nim dan obi kwa ko wremu e betim the problem aba ye nim bridge obi ko fa so e betim the problem aba enti as a stakeholder say oni omo be ka so one on one bibi say oh bro ade we dey mum yen hwe na yenye ni ye na emwaye.
Yes enukure say na me di kankan no ye ya start ejuma ya chakakra na nso be bia du die say ehye mukena na enunti na yes fa adwumade e dia ashman say dia 2 year ye pono so ebeye na nka yes started this year na so ankika no say enya so ano ye. But however say na meka no early next year idea is almost over. Early next year ubeti enka we are going to all the 16 regions. They are training all the artisans, the block manufacturers, the formers, and then what have you. Now you build up capacity in the composition of all these materials because most of the times, you know, ubeti me akoto gas and medican and CMAF and CBI and super sem what have you. Now so in sia udibe mixi material no aggregate you know one year ube ye now so nya honde no because enye so bia keke na edi man say edi mixi mortar and concrete. Because at times the people think say because concrete no me see we are now man say as if say ayafi na so in CSO dey no wo dey Sophia me can that down unya the strength level na upe and the base of that to say build on capacity and the baby I say omisi mortar ni nyina no most at times no dey go from normal mixing and say na be we no cement and hondia e wo sa we no mo no na asase no amene. And you buy your concrete no we no ahodi no bebre akọ asase no mu. All these things are some of the chemical composition and reactions are said then building on capacity on and therefore baby I did there in fact ye bebo abaso say one say what man is one my ejuma pa say then ye nto aso na ye be hye mukina na ye de fata say ye edibo Ghana ni mpuntu
monto aso na de hold on me ba be busa me last question ba me kora Francis Dabanka ono so product and business director ewo Gasem ono so ewo Zoom ni so eja Dabanka akwaba
na mama ya me da sinyami sha na ma chin so mpacha ho te sen
ya eja adom mira me ho ye me da wase mi huani papa
na misha opa anopai ni sa jo adwene Ghana ho sede odi dwuma odi we ato kwanso mesa faso achia menua James ene menua ata ena Mr Cherry omoso maya ade pa o maka bebre na
ye da na we bia ka fra ye pesi ehu wanim ti o laptop no ka u tilt ni ti no kakra maye a na ye hu wanim yi
okay menua link no wo
great afe ye hu wanim
okay yo me da say ti me pagya ne se de be ya obehu manim
ye da say mo
ka me kan say why are there because about quality undercutting in the industry a big problem. In fact, me mouse statistics kakra. Yeah, got some test cement BI or market. Now yeah, between 30 to 40% of the cement or market no undercut quality. Said yeah, Mr. Ansad James Churchill, especially strength. Say cut 32 the brain no contest no not 28 days no 32.5 to unya. Ebi oha is so 42.5 hour on test in 28 days in now konya 36 or below. So a big problem but also Mr. Ghana Standard Authority ni Ministry of Trade so abaso. Oma start here adwuma bi said you would ka say 2 years ago.
Say abaso enu so eni enya de every say I baby e de ba begina wom say me hwe standards for no quantity me come man sam na me krokro mu kakra but no so ni say if the standards were really standardized Sanka wouldn't be here 3 years to say or 2 years ago Cherry kan ye at least ye hu 4 companies ye ni so mo ye problem mai ye see de mu ye mu nyai afa prekope ya san say omunye omadwuma saa no ye kohye no omu meti standards na but ye nyina ye cha se ye kasa pa o ye bo mabaso ye bo mabaso maybe say ye catch omu so sit up ebe ma omu so akeka omu kakra
mama ye no kre je ti ame ye ka be ka to say ye bo mabaso se de omu start here no also omu so stay ni also omu koso enti say make us almost be biasi fie mienu etwa mu yi but also ye toa so said ye be a shemu kana that ye start ye an enforcement say a kind of brownie for enforcement e be koso enti me open Mama Elizabeth the new minister no oba ye na ye kuta ho cement manufacturers association ye kuta ho die ebebre on this problem onso a share boss say on be toa koso said ye be ya on be sanitizing industry no but the mechanics say yeah consumers no yeah testament no so no also yes yeah hwe kakra said the regulators need to solve problem now testament there are a lot of brands on the market but also busa more cement hu nim de kakra and say omo hwe price nko but price the obia customer bia opunya ade an bo for my year by dia AC do wa ma me unim say dia de AC na febo u si dia enye product a obeye aton wa yusu ato atwene ntu ko si dia u si dia afebo nti se de beye a obadwene nipa ho nti no u ko si dia na obeto cement a also busa kakra omo cement hu nim de brands ne doso but brands ne ye beye what I can say ni say we are vigilant kakra as a customer so also about home buy one year motivated by only price like I said 40% of the product on the market meet quality standard and before answer na ministry no be full enforcement consumers so to cement no say careful
na
they be a better
Adekye ka say ebi mo de quarry dust abo no ase no munyam ne fikofiko amoru a Cherry nso aka omunso unim sa oje sa ho ne tum
enukre pa say no make say the quality of the cutting e ban chese omun fa chemical say the misa ansa chechire mu no the right chemical and also some the omun fa nye say the be ya on betimi aton fo
now pani won say me amekwoto cement no
problem apart from granite dust no even clinker no cry no standard no limit say product be baby no also minimum amount of clinker also different chemical no but bebre nye omo tete so
Okay. Now me opani me and me koto immediate me da say o cement we 32.5 R. Oh enya ye betimi aye adwuma 45 point something betimi aye adwuma. Me den we say we no what standard ne so clinker ne so in fact carry that kra no why am diafra. Test me koye no we da be na me ye betwa blogs egu awi ama me dia kwche nso afidie no kra me kofa we na me dia kwche.
Okay, Timamea, one of the key indicators ne say okoto ade na say ade a okoto no ne bo because before the P so yeah no problem. So the mechanic say the only indicator apart from so people advice so your industry players be omonim but a lot of people omotis animal so with me advice so but beyond that so here na say product now kotono ne boy for too much below the market price, the standard market price. I also so bet me amount.
What is the standard price and average standard price?
Oh, price need to vary depending on the location. Albertono be Accra say Accra price may vary between 32 between 80 to 94 depending on the brand.
Okay.
Kumasi what the case ka honey the price may vary across the country because there's a lot of factors determine price.
Okay.
But the American say
Intiation is saying there a from pie 22.5 R, right? Inti me koto 22.5
R. 22 no masonry cement that the from pa.
And the from pa and no average
and but no problem I want to say among for misapply say the Mr. Cherika one my mason say on koto the cement kosi die. One man sika obeji we be a price of 80 cedis and sorry 90 cedis or call market hono ko hunu 22.5 na 22.5 no ye the only plastering kwa no koto no the year concrete ye hum sa niam bebre enti any Ghana Standard Authority edidin at a point Ghana Standard Authority cannot percent sa product no only free market because of misapplication.
Okay.
Enti the enemy P but say the make and say yeah as consumers say the Ministry of Trade and the Ghana Standard Authority also almost share enforcement in Mukina. Also almost bebre but yeah as consumers and also yeah vigilant. And what I say but the
me pesa but me Chinese say Ghana no yanya realistic bra you sineda but wa ba adwuma enti waka che meeting cosite meeting friend opening cement na san mo ye de block laying okay enti ye be hia be 20 bags bia no pay ya okay eni am nkoto bie no wa frɛ ba bia na so say me sendi mo ama mo ha me sendi mo ama mo nkoto se wonu anfo obi anko anase ne bakra te wo se o me be kwhwe se cement no dodo no omu use a o se de kan ye nim no ase o se ye mix a omu twa head pan 5 a obefa cement nem se 1.5 ana won se me kra makosa it da 1.5 se 2 enti akola ne dia ne so to o hwe hu se ai wafa 1.5 wafa wa use 10 bags na to ye no wa use ni nyina asa enti onim se sa 22.5 no wakwa akotoi as what dear plastering and what dear block laying. A face so crano, sa not 22.5 no crano so no. Nipa no so ye no was yet quality neso. And tis a messy no cotton 32.5 R cra or the by concrete block laying ya. Me am a tencheno, madam who say, Sana clinker carry dust, and why am the second clinker. What
that's a pa. Also, I don't see as a power, but the mechanic say, you see, there also a planning.
Okay.
Planning is very important. Say the okay, ya say, so we see die. Now, come baby, na me senior from cement ya son also a kotobi. Tanya man also so planning ya. Me, the catch uncle for say, so we see die ya. So ya concrete crana. So I won't mean koha also pay will be our ginidi.
Okay.
So with me akwa amount say okay, Messi abeji usika say me koto e bia brand A. Brand you say mama ya brand na me koto. And the papa. Also when you be manage na akwa say sa brand na car so auto no eno ato. Because sika na odi shame no eso. Enti ni say to na say planning about building and construction. Planning is very important. Planning and supervision from the side of Jumano. And who because then say industry it will take time to be able to sanitize this quality undercutting. But
I wonder why it will take time. If it's a brain, we didn't have this problem. Now that technology air kosonoa mu peja muno afei mom ne ba benya problem. Na omundo maybe it is not your question because also who are manufacturing sector and yes ape ebe say who can go bi adwuma and am one so dey tetene na mo enjoy monopoly no but na ma musumu sisi e kakra it's good say that manufacturers abemu but picking it from Mr. Cherry point and say 14 companies or more bag you or more produce you and you are able to pinpoint say these 4 when ti adentina ye den my say be sanitizer system no after all cement companies and ti say ntos adwosu a obi afa ne bucket ya basket a wotontos.
Okay, mama dey can in the creba enforcement ni regulation there Ministry of Trade through its agency Ghana Standard Authority in Kwana betimi aye. Yeah, manufacturers na ye dimra no so the only thing betimi say be engage omo na ye no omo adinkuta ho say the be ya omo cause enforcement but we can only advise you betimi chu I sit down no for say also yes so careful but the can pass the ministry and the Ghana Standard Authority also omo bon homodin the sanctions to ho say the be protect consumers but enya my there consumers so say very vigilant. Say cement.
Maybe a bear kakra no to say who sign contractor, she lawyer no. A bear kakra who see down so and can you would hear some betun chain. Now why she share architects you are drama where you walk up building consultant or didn't anybody actually amount and ya bank one here consultants and engineers.
Mame why dear pa Unisika cry, your qua sorry, your mocks. I sorry, a woman who sell with you and Ubenya a lot of people are only a dance here who him dear. Or make me a mouth advice for free. And most of this advice here can vigilance be a crowd 2 Jessica. Yeah, sorry now, Presby or Methodist. Me see there be na has cement ben and me try ye. Qua bed and me first of me planning no. Say they buy say mason for no and I say we artisans no musi see me. Nti afutu no betime nya na abra o mo ho ka bebre nti vigilance ne de hu hia pa na ye bo abaso so say also media no what take away upon yourself. Say in fact the media so you do ho enforcement the pressure baba the ministry ni regulatory authority to step up the enforcement.
Yeah, that's it.
Why are they nyamisha?
Yeah, that one so asinyamisha. Mamini Owura Cherry enwe. Eja Cherry obi question be me avoid the question so I keep seeing it. Unse esa penise ye pesi ye bo ebi mu achi. And I answer say ye obi se mpese mu ye racist. Every kasa sa adwumakuo we enkrofo we company. Nipa no bo specific country be dey say company say omu free ha. Omu no omu ye ne sa. Mutumi chire hu say enkrofo we companies we Chinese companies in a less announce low standards cement
Yeah, many about I'm say the okano we there enye man send in tasembia but uko how do you call it mupota no so 2023 somewhere November thereabout. Na Ubahu say Ghana Standard Authority echo to Zin Unsafe Cement Ghana Limited. Ayo ejisu kumanse omakotum. Ukoma ubeko that's Cement Ghana Limited. Also located at Offenso, also omakotum. And Unisem Cement Ghana Limited. Also obekwai, also omakotu enosumu. Enti when is a public knowledge. But later on, we realize say Omoni Ghana Standard Authority ebe signing undertaking.
Okay.
Which say sa submane se funsuonu omunye biu. So since then, yanti assembia from Munchen. However, come marketer, it's almost the same.
Too bad I lost him. Movanchemi, Ura Cherry, Emmanuel, CEO, Chamber of Construction Company, and Francis Dabanka, Project and Business Director, Gassem, and Omono Muwo Zoom. No. I wanted to save you people that question, but no person can say, woman say, GS Kotumu, now so no. The almost your munye bim no enwa no mugu so a omo eye. It wouldn't be fair to ask more questions no. Someone to aso because omo your competitors.
Exactly, but me I would even take it from the point say at the end na be nipa ba ko na shase.
Okay.
And the enforcement has not been rigid. Inte ko mienu. And out here Emmanuel Asamoah can say I have 4. It tells you that there's a potential say between 8. And
at the can so as a middle belt econof enti ehonu no so no eni nhye dan koso ti wa nhwe ya no mu twagum
ya nya lucky kra na ebe sane aba form and say esane aba form
na say aba south
yes. E kro na obo din so mo free ba no ebi so south ase so what is the possibility say sadness no so enye bi ana mo ye
Sabe penanka na me be kan dia to say ni fa posisi bio egusu etrete and the statistics na Mr. Dabanka edito hono no said o ka say won de bia o motobi etesen yeso ya tobi
okay
ze ye pese ye na ye hu say and it is growing by the day.
Wow.
De bia ekosoro nti se ne ohwe na e bia be 40% e bo some fufu obesato no don se na ekọ e bia 45 ekọ be 50
sada de omo price na me bisa Mr. Dabanka no say let's say basic one the block work near the 32.5 right
32.5
no eno no ka averagely e so a range be saying.
So let me even take this. That's what I was about saying. Okay. No person can say averagely in Accra specifically 32 no averagely 90 cities.
90 cities.
Na
say the any bo wo for ma wo benya no
we po ye the any bo
e wo soro aye den pa
90 cities
90
but okay. We market no no obi turn there be 80 cities a difference of 10 cities.
Okay,
now the build up now between us 10 cities no 2 areas.
Okay,
either through the raw material
and not taxes. I get it.
The taxes alone, we share imports, as in duties and levies, on each bag of cement is 6.3 cedis. We share the VAT, NHL, and maybe Get Fund, 15.3 cedis.
Oh.
In the same year, Edmond averagely
21 or
21.6
okay.
to 22 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
Out of the 90 Ghana cedis. And Nipani say, into a woody and Ranesono, you are actually spending 22 Ghana cedis.
But sure, bra, Kojo, what's the assurance say? I'm not saying to me, buying share a honey mamo. Say that she be a buying share honey mamo. What's the assurance say? Omo money in cement any papano. Omo bedin she yes so still omo kofa inferior material and find low standard cement in my.
It is actually calling out the people. In 2023, GSA echo around closely most of the manufacturing companies are no more you see limestone. We saw some sanity in the space. You test now, you must know now the quality is actually coming up. But all of a sudden, and that's the whole person will hear without even going to the lab to do the tester. Driving for Gumwa.
Okay.
Trucks are loaded quarry dust. Cement companies trucks are loaded quarry dust from Gumwa, Fete, Eba, Accra. Not besides a cement company, no. Ultra blocks no issue carry dust and associate. This is actually the layman's assessment of the issue without going through the lab. So it tells you, say, one, they stopped it. But because now people are doing it. And that is why now quarry dust, formally, now quit be at 3,006 quarry dust.
And also
quarry dust, no more ultra blocks Ukraine binto. because you no more what's that factory no more use no much concession no. And I said be omo no more kutoku kese. Into omo kwa no more car not to lie. So who block factory to small block factory now one China you see be one track no.
Yeah.
We can't be do like more than 1 week we be into. Because a bona akosro. And the wo sika kese no so air toni nia. So the block factories are complaining and I would even suggest say mommy let your people go round and talk to the block manufacturers.
Okay.
To understand as year can. It's not that easy. And yes, simple, sir. Because it is actually coming up. And by the time I realize, you know, not achieving.
You know, in terms, the quality control. The man nipa Adrian Bass or Namiko should be say, and now who sit down Bashana as a cracks a bemuno. Say, woman fa the actual standard no. Anya se so ko fa plastering de be ye block worker ni nyina ka ho na de sa papa ye ne ban na me se anya so munya de kwari da si de ye de anya na je se bobo as a dan na esi wo no ahodin bi ani
de o kan nukre enye ahodin ni dan no enya ahodin a eni dan no mun kwa na ye problem dan no ankasa it must stand the test of durability.
Ese si wo che na nioma etimi attack cement any concrete nema concrete no edidem e weak na e ma dan buo no concrete na cement no ese etimi ejina sa nioma na no eni won di esi a entimi munkam emfa so. Okay.
Ye tosu bio concrete no ankasa eni kwan se ewo nnuro bi wo mu nso a ebetumi attack other elements, structural elements of the building. For instance, reinforcement, iron rods, aegu. Now, sa nioma ya approve ye, ndi ya approve ye ne se. And we mu ade di se nioma ewo mu no efiri mu ba no. Ebe attack se bibi attack concrete na entimi nyina no.
Okay.
And on one kasan so otimi di nioma ba etimi attack iron rods yes a building. That is why it has not been accepted and standardized as a component of cement. It is a told them I mean can't be a crabby I mean so be alkali silica reaction.
Okay.
Alkali silica reaction. Now silica no adie wo corridors. Now, clean canal kasa yewo nioma bi mo ye a friend alkali. Se okofa corridors a wo reactive silica. Now they be ka clean canal ho. Na onu momu no any clean canal alkali na wo mu astate eye adwuma boni.
E aso mu kutia
omo ho develop certain products within your mix.
Okay.
Nti edan no esiwa no mo nansa wani ehu. Nti bre kwaso no na de develop na ebebu dan ye kese ewo mu ati se ebia wanya cancer.
Okay.
Ana tumor ketu ebi ene wo mu wani hu na edidiko prekope bridge ana dan kese dakope bachan keke na nyina aduregu because obi yusu open infaso boom na onu ko yusu material obi an say we are say betimi ahadwenti ya brase me yanyusu no no ehye tokuro mu baabi na ode efra na yan nyina omamu sika ya dia ma contractor onu so nim nti onu so akoto cement ni bi na ode ebe adwuma na ode akwakoye dia fly over ana ode akwaye bridge na yan nyina yakonya asankase pa ewo mu eya bi asese ya dwene ya kwa dwene
enti na be ni se da chi bi agi se mo sign ba because wo kikara madwan ba so bo nse nso to a se bridge a yesi ebu agum prekope ya dwen so nso na to abro so a na nsan india wo ba bi o ma ye bridge se flyover mfimfini na adwase ga won say ya dwen ba eye nkwanhia ye sign but e bi ana se dia wo ken na bibi mfomso bi hya ase nketenkete a ya mfa yani ankoso na ni nyina ye be fama nyame we de ntimi fama nyame sa we de agiti e chate ni edi ho nkomo no enti dachi bia no ye besan aba no pay die mesremo me fama nsi ha se bibi ho amama mo anka ye sima eja ata
yes I think say okay be permanent stand back ya be cheche because bibia as you to your boss che ye consumers no more say who choose cement yes cement be cement but so who choose cement after say be boa wo dan no for the rest of the years nyankopon dia ma wo ne wo ma eno fasefo
senya wo kra wo kwa o ma be ba betina mu wo ko asukwa ne ya ke Ashtown for ahwetete ya bronsan ya koko sikafo ni si ya ne da so si ho na ye de da chi ebenya sa 50 years 100 years ni bi na si ho sa
enu nti na say start education nti ye mo say de ye tu ye ho esi ho no ya call around ye educated mason for and I'm happy so beside Emmanuel say see to me a license say this artisans into so corners or any artisan be na you also ask the simple question as a consumer is it licensed or not
o certificate way anope de madam asepa ura kojo ata shelen white fe obaya na me manu din foforo broni ono in head of service was super sem na ofa James Safuana metide papa ne ba no ono so ne quality controls manager was sem math anope da asepa James Cherry na onu ni CEO Emma Chamber of Construction oba Zoom Emmanuel Cherry mama ni James any dina me de James me de do Emmanuel Cherry and Francis da Banka and your project and business director ewo Gasem any eni omodi nkomoyi na de me fa free money say sabre say wo kọ abontia na wo kodwa so say wo koto cement a menye wadwen se opedufudie bebre ade afu bebre ne boadin ohiani wade oto papa na acha ma afi beba mfie numa ebeba enti fakato kaso na busem na to papa ne preko na emwa osense obeyese na dai muya musia dai wusia udi sika call site sika nsan ma enti ene ma yenkoto 70 die isa wanya ude wonkwa betwa so saa nti yesero ma woni na ho Ghana Standards Authority for the migusu amekrokro wo fi se ya twen wo mu abotre temo amunim tin kakran tin na me nka hwe o ma hye me boss o mo beba tin next week o mo beba na abuso o mo because yes standard bibia ye bia no o mu na o mbeche se we ya hyehye ne sei esese dru ha esese ye sei na pepepe apart from cement no ebi mo nso kra de o mo de abeje se e wo se kan standards asem in general enti o ma hye me boy die kom ye why ye kwa ba ye koba sisi ano se chebroni ba se o gina mu ape chairman amanfo se aya o feyi oniska obetua development levy no nti no se okope chairman na se he mu nyaisa me ofa ba me bisa na mamu enti ye ne honorable Bwacheja Akon former energy minister ebebo mpunimpu o se Bwacheja Akon for national chairman enti ono no ni slogan ne ye die ye beba sisi awa